We are always proud to welcome people from the armed forces of the United States of America. And we here in Southern California are very close to El Toro and thank them for sending their Marine band to perform for us so beautifully this morning. Meanwhile, from Camp Pendleton, my guest this morning is the Lieutenant General Cariton Fulford, who is the Commanding General of the 1st Marine Expeditionary Force. He has served both in Vietnam and Desert Storm. General Fulford has been decorated many times over, including the Distinguished Defense Service Medal, the Silver Star Medal, and 2 Purple Heart medals, to name just a very few. General Fulford has been a deacon in his Southern Baptist Church for 23 years. He is married to his beautiful wife, Mary Ann. He is the proud father of 3 children. And now, please welcome with me Lieutenant General Cariton Fulford, Jr.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Wow, what a joy it is to look at you in that uniform with all of those medals and the history that you have played in preserving our freedom and serving our country with such tremendous dedication.
Thank you, sir.
I don't think you can find more dedicated people in any industry or profession than in the military forces of our country. So I want to thank you so much for coming here. And now, tell me, you have 2 Purple Hearts. Can you tell us where you won those Purple Hearts?
Both of these Purple Hearts was a result of injuries in Vietnam. I received 1 rifle round to the chest and several pieces of shrapnel from an artillery round. I was treated on board the USS Sanctuary, a hospital ship in the South China Sea, and fortunately quickly returned to my unit in Vietnam.
Your memories of the Vietnam conflict and any comments you'd like to make about it to put it in proper perspective for all who are listening would be appreciated.
I was a young man, a graduate from the United States Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland, invincible at that age. Took my commission in the Marine Corps and quickly found myself in charge of a rifle platoon in the jungles of Vietnam. Realized very quickly that I wasn't trained as well as I should have been. We weren't prepared to do what we had to do at that time. My most vivid memories, though, are of the people, the dedicated men and women who sincerely believed that they were there to bring peace and freedom and democracy to a nation across the ocean. And the people of Vietnam who had been oppressed and been involved in conflict for many years, from occupation by the Japanese and the French, and then undergoing a war of a guerrilla war or a civil war in their own country. In retrospect, I think those Vietnamese people, most of all, just wanted to be left alone. We failed, I think, to explain to them and to our own nation why we were there and what we were doing. And we should never make that mistake again.
Then, 1990 to 1991, you're a commander now in the Desert Storm. How different was that from Vietnam?
In August of 1990, several days after the Iraqi forces invaded and occupied Kuwait, Marines from Camp Pendleton and throughout Southern California were quickly mobilized and sent to Saudi Arabia. We trained and stood there to make sure that he did not attack further down into Saudi Arabia and seize those important oil fields. The difference of Desert Storm, one, we were better trained, better prepared, our equipment was better. We knew why we were there, we knew the mission, and everybody was prepared to do what needed to be done. But more importantly, we had the support of the American people. And I will never forget the thousands of letters from throughout America that came telling us, we're behind you every way. And that meant so much, and I can't tell the American people how important it is for your men and women wearing the uniform to have your support.
You've been a church member, I am told, and a good Southern Baptist most of your life.
Yes, sir.
Your faith is real to you. Comment on it.
I was very fortunate to grow up in a home with a Christian mother and father who saw to it that I was in the church every time the church doors were open. I married a fine Christian lady. I'm fortunate to have 3 children, all of whom have accepted Jesus Christ as their Lord. Every day, I give thanks for the opportunity to serve our nation, to serve in the armed forces. Sometimes I fail, and sometimes I think that I'm doing things on my own. When I do that, I usually stumble. I've learned to recognize that God's in charge, and I'm where I am because He wants me to be there. Each and every day, I recognize that more strongly as I have the opportunity to be a positive influence in the lives of thousands of wonderful young men and women who serve our armed forces today. In combat, I think God becomes more precious and more close to the men and women who face the trials and tribulations of that. There are many emotions, some of fear, personal fear most of all of letting our nation down or the people that you serve. And at that time, the need to have God in your life and to have a source of strength is readily apparent. As we began to lead the invasion into Kuwait, to liberate Kuwait in the early months of 1991, I felt those emotions of fear and concern. I shared them with my son, who thought I was complaining too much. He wrote me a letter, and he said, "Dad, read the 121st Psalm.
Wow.
I'll lift up mine eyes unto the hills from which cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, who is my strength and my salvation." With help like that, you cannot fail. God bless America. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much. Is that the son who may be a captain?
He is a captain in the Marine Corps today. Very proud of him. Yes, sir.
Your pride shows, justly so. You're so close to us, Camp Pendleton. El Toro is closing. Camp Pendleton.
Sir, I can tell you that there are 65,000 Marines in Southern California. We're going to stay here. Camp Pendleton's going to stay here. We're very proud to serve our nation and be part of the Southern California community and all the friends who support us here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I want you to know this church, the Crystal Cathedral Ministry, stands back of you with prayer and with support. And if anybody starts rumbling around Washington of closing Camp Pendleton, they're going to hear from me like they've never heard from me. So God bless you, okay?
Thank you.